Concerned about some chop. Semiconductors were especially weak. Nvidia was on the watch list because of the concern they can't sell, limiting selling chip stocks to Chinese clients. So Nvidia, AMD were on the list amongst some others that had earnings last night. Okta, CrowdStrike's been in play. All right, good morning, guys. Norm here, Bearable Trader. It's been a long time since I've done this, so I'm going to apologize in advance for any weirdness in this recap. But anyway, trading live this morning at the open with Jared. Haven't been able to do that in a while, so it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me today, Jared. And
You're welcome.
yeah, let's just talk through the trade. I mean, it was a bit of a choppy open. We discussed it in the pre-market show, concerned about some chop. Semiconductors were especially weak. Nvidia was on the watch list because of the concern they can't sell, limiting selling chip stocks to Chinese clients. So Nvidia, AMD were on the list amongst some others that had earnings last night. Okta, CrowdStrike's been in play, MDB, Meta. But we both traded Tesla at the open. Tesla this morning, for me, I saw it. It was on my list. I didn't know that I was going to end up getting a trade so early on it, but it had come down. Things have been weak recently. It had a few weekdays in a row on the daily, as you can see. And it started to bounce off moving average down here at 270. So personally, I saw it trending up this morning throughout the pre-market, took the trade in the first minute, gave it a fairly wide stop, about $2 under. My entry at 270, 240-ish, and let it ride. It never hit my stop. Somebody asked why I didn't get stopped out, because it didn't get to my stop. It almost got to my stop, but didn't in this opening candle. You know, that morning period shakes a lot of people out, even if they have a great idea. If they don't have a wide enough stop, especially on something like Tesla, it can be problematic. So took my first partial as it popped over 275. Another partial over previous day close, which was 275.61. I think I partialed around 275.75-ish. And then held on to the rest and ended up getting stopped out the remainder, break even. By the time that had transpired, all those trade ideas that we had for shorts on semis and stuff of that nature were gone. The Tesla trade ate up a good portion of the morning, had a nice profit on it. I'm happy with that. But these were already essentially so far gone, too late to trade. Thought about taking a little reversal here on Nvidia. Gave it a minute. It was a tiny trade, really just out of boredom. I mentioned in the room, these kind of trades have really killed days for me in the past. So I'm like, I'm not going to mess with this. I'm going to get out, break even. Not that it can't and won't reverse at some point potentially. And by the way, what I saw on this one, it did have an area down here, and I'm sorry for let me do it on this one instead. It does have an area down here. If you go back just over 52 weeks. To I believe it's April of 21, where it did bottom out about 135-ish in the mid 130s and bounced from there. That's this area right here. So anyway, got out of that. Figured might as well just keep my day decent. Market's a bit choppy anyway. And Jared, let me pull up your screen share and you can describe what you had.
Yeah, and it's a similar trade to what you took. I saw some daily support at the 50 period moving average. I also saw a little bit of buying interest over the past few days, albeit the follow through is not really showing.
Yeah.
You know, we're still in a very trying to find a bottom kind of market, and obviously the pullback is putting a lot of pressure on the more riskier stocks like Tesla. Similar idea as well. Like I started small on that particular trade. So while it did eventually work out in my favor, I allowed it to take, about a $2 move to the downside, which, puts a little bit of pressure on your entry. As long as we were holding some of those pre-market prices, I was kind of okay with the risk. And in all frankness, I think you can even add once you get into an actual orb scenario.
Sure.
Because, a 1 minute orb fails, but maybe like a 5-minute orb to get you to previous day close would have been more successful. Obviously, there's some other trades kind of embedded in the Tesla chart. If you're looking at previous day close, that became a nice like intraday short opportunity. And similar to what Norm said, actually, we were looking at semiconductors pretty much in the entire room. Quite a few people took the short. I was looking more for some counter bounces. None of them really set up great, but I think now that the market has hopefully a low of day kind of established, some of the semis might actually recover a bit, even if they do end up selling a little bit later. I'm also looking at SPY right now, so the S&P 500, because we bounced so hard recently. I'm trying to see if there's going to be some sort of 1, 2, 3 type extension, and VWAP is about where I'm looking long. So trying to see if the market can maybe find its footing, but in all honesty, the high end of this market is always the sell point. So you want to be careful stepping into long trades after a bounce. It's typically the one that sells into fresh lows. So it's a really tough market to take buy setups. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Other than that, we're just kind of seeing 10-year interest rates are spiking today. We got initial jobless claims this morning. So there's a little bit of catalyst, and it's a fresh month. So new money, new kind of portfolio positioning, and obviously some new opportunity showing itself in the market.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me at the Open, Jared. It was a pleasure trading with you as always. Thanks to everybody in the room, and take care, guys. Trade safe. See you tomorrow on the pre-market show.
Take it easy.